Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Confessions. Everyone wants to confess, but not everyone wants to hear them. Today, I'm joined by two of my favourite guests in the whole goddamn world. Two of my favourite comedians, the wonderful. I usually bump this person, but they're here. They actually have not been bumped today. This is huge. The first time this guest has not been bumped on the podcast. It's the wonderful Kirsty. Webeck, welcome back.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for not bumping me. I'm on edge though.
You're on edge. Yeah, it could happen at any point.
There's a full hour in which I could get bumped.
I don't like people to be comfortable. I like them to wait and go.
But yeah, I appreciate the sentiment of having me on to begin the episode anyway.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes in the end. And of course, one of my favourite comedians of all time, a goddamn legend. It is the wonderful Will Anderson. Welcome back.
I have full confidence I'm not getting bumped.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's come in with that energy. Big not bump energy.
I've sat in the corner, the least convenient place to be bumped from.
Furthest away from the door.
It'd be a real hassle. Sam would have to move the tables. He served us some sparkling water in what I can only assume are goblets that he's found in some Indiana Jones style cave.
Last time I was here,
practical drinking glasses I've ever seen in my entire life.
Thank you so much for saying that. I do appreciate that.
Last time I was here, you had fish in these.
Yeah, that's right.
Glasses.
Yeah, because that is what they're appropriate for.
That's right.
Because they look more like fish bowls than things that you would use to drink out of. And Sam handed me, because what people don't know is that Sam's lovely parents were here when we arrived.
I get everyone to meet my parents before they come on the podcast. I take it real fast when I'm podcasting.
Yeah. I didn't know. I would have dressed up.
Imagine if it is only that 15 minutes before any podcast where he gets the family over.
Yep.
He gets them in. He's got some pre-burnt lasagna. He lays it all out on the table. He's like, Mum and Dad, this is going to be a good one today. You're going to meet two people who may seem like they're wearing identical clothes.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. The twins. You two could remake Twins today.
The best. And what I will say also is if Kirsty and I did do Twins remake, which I'm loving, by the way, as an idea Hollywood get on the line. But the hoodie that she is wearing today is a hoodie that I own. So there is a chance that I could have literally come dressed. It is a hoodie I have with me in Melbourne in my rotation because, as you can see, I'm wearing another black hoodie with a pattern on it.
It's lovely.
They're already similar enough. I had that thought when I arrived. I've seen you in this hoodie.
I know.
And when I arrived, I was like, I'm
so glad I didn't wear that.
Yeah, I was like, there's a big chance Will's going to be in the same hoodie.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, Sam will have the cameras out and it'll be a perfect opportunity for us to do our pitch live to camera for the Twins remake.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
it's going to be huge. Is there a storyline? I don't need one. It's just funny enough.
It's the original Twins storyline, but with the twist that obviously,
it's very Australian.
I was waiting to see who filled that gap in.
It's very Australian.
It was like
burnt lasagna.
I was doing as a real sort of like personality test of who dives in for what there.
And it was me because I tried to save the podcast.
I'd never felt more uncomfortable in my life. I was like, we're 4 minutes in and Will's running this podcast into the ground.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, he didn't get the burnt lasagna, so he's angry. Yeah.
Maybe will get bumped after all.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You bring in the burnt lasagna, sit in on the chair instead.
Yeah.
Just film that.
Yeah,
just film that.
Kirsty, what do you think about this confession? And now over to you, burnt lasagna.
But Will's still sitting there, just not talking. The mic's off.
We're going to make Will hold the burnt lasagna.
Now,
I can't move. My hips hurt, and Sam doesn't want to move the table and the goblets, so I'm just holding the lasagna.
Kirsty and I have had a big moment recently in our relationship. We've obviously met the parents today, but also I have woken up a few times shuddering from a moment that I had with Kirsty the other day where, Kirsty, do you want to say what happened? Because from your point of view, I went into a situation thinking everything was normal and everything until there was one thing said from Amanda. Can you say what happened? What happened that day?
Yeah, so this is a great tie-in with the Twins thing.
Yeah.
Because I went to a show at the Starter Comedy Festival. I went to see the recording of Laura Davis's special. Amazing, by the way. Everyone go and see Laura Davis.
She's the best.
So great. And
I love how filled these water glasses are. You barely touched it. There's barely a dent in it from having a huge drink just then.
Yeah, I've been remaining in my seat and just lashing my tongue out to get little sips. like a frog.
It's going to be great for the video. The weirdest video for a podcast ever that's not mentioned. Just Kirsty's really long tongue.
And me, like I'm playing the children's game Operation, moving at such slow speed because I need to like balance this goblet in my hands while also paying attention to Kirsty's story and being a good guest.
There's a lot going on. We haven't even got to the callers yet.
Yeah.
These goblets have absolutely no business having a sewing needle for a stem.
I mean, the look of disappointment on Sam's very supportive parents' faces when he handed the two of us, guests in his house, these things to drink out of, as if that was an appropriate thing for an adult to do.
They're very disappointed in you
They've
right now.
supported you so much in every other way. Delightful, but
that's the end.
That's it.
That's it.
As they were leaving, your mum leant over and whispered to me, "We didn't raise him like this. Sorry about the glasses."
They're changing their numbers as we speak. On the way to the Telstra shop on the way home. Not a plug.
So I'm at Laura Davis's show. I've booked 4 tickets.
Yep.
I've booked a ticket for Elle, my partner, and I. Mm-hmm. And then I've booked a ticket for Elle's twin and her partner. Mm-hmm. And then Elle gets sick during the day and we sub in a dear friend of ours. Mm-hmm. And then we arrive at the venue. Sam and a bunch of other comedians are there. So Sam wasn't the only one that fell victim to this.
Thank you for calling me a comedian. That's huge.
Big moment.
It's a big moment for me. I'm blushing.
You know what? Get his parents back. Get them, stop them, turn them around, get them back.
This could really bring me back.
Sam was there along with a bunch of other personalities.
Vaguely podcast personalities. Vaguely popular podcasters, but not huge.
Figures. Not even
Sam and a bunch
figures.
of entertainment adjacent figures.
Guys, there's a pull quote. I'm coming back, baby. I'm going to do a show now, just from Will Anderson's quote.
And Sam comes barreling down the stairs.
Barreling?
Barreling.
Don't walk.
I've got a real flair for the theatrical.
Yeah.
It's like a bowling ball coming
Yeah.
down the stairs.
Famously barreled.
Famously barreled. That's right. Yeah, he's a big deal at Campari House. and he gives me a kiss on the cheek, and then he immediately, too swiftly, goes in to give Elle a kiss. And as he goes in to do it, I was like, no, it's not Elle.
I mean, close though.
So, well,
yeah.
And this is the thing, like I always tell them that with twins, it's 2 bodies, 1 brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you share a brain.
Yeah.
So
you can share a kiss.
You can share a kiss from Sam.
From a stranger. From comedy adjacent, Sam.
Because
It's just one of the things they never talk about when you're a twin. It comes with it, but it comes with
it's
it.
This could
true,
be in the
2
film.
bodies
This could
and
be in
1
the
brain.
film. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, we could incorporate it into our remake
Yeah.
to educate people as well.
It's mostly education. Pretty boring. It's a bit dull.
It's more of a TED talk than a twins remake, but
I
it's fine.
actually like this though because they're actual twins. Like this is good for the movie. This is the
It's
modern
good,
day
isn't
twist.
it?
Good for the movie.
We
Because
could
you're in a
remake it.
relationship with someone who is an actual twin.
Yes.
And there's got to be some underlying skepticism from them that we are also twins. Like, you know, you've rocked up one day and gone, I'm a twin too. In fact, maybe that's how you guys got together in the first place, is you bonded and you made up that you were a twin. And then you've had to hire
This is
me,
huge.
your old friend, to pretend that I'm your twin, despite the fact that I'm clearly a decade older than you and a man.
It's not
and like
mentioned.
all these things.
I'm like-
but we just gaslight people into thinking that we are twins.
I'm like, who do I know who would be most easily passed off as my identical twin?
Who's already got
It's
the same
Will
clothes?
And of all the people in my life, I think it's Will Anderson.
Who would
safely
not
say.
have to buy one new pair of pants?
Not a single item of clothing.
I'll
Like,
bring my own clothes on set, thanks.
yeah, we're like, don't worry about the wardrobe budget. We've got that sorted.
Yeah. Artist wears own.
And so this kiss happened. This lovely kiss,
yes.
and she did say, "I'm not Al." That was the big takeaway from it.
Yeah.
But since then, I have had moments where I've just remembered that moment, kissing the wrong person. And Kirsty has sent me so many messages of reenactments of the kiss moment.
I keep filming reenactments of my look of horror as Sam was hooking into a kiss.
Hooking in. I was hooking in. I barreled down and hooked in.
I love how the story sounds like a full-on patch now. Like
I know.
It's escalated.
Really escalated it, yeah.
It was a peck on the cheek.
It was a peck on the
great.
cheek, yeah. But would be a great moment maybe in the film, in the remake. If someone comes to you, Will, instead of Kirsty, or, the other way around to say hello to one of you. Do you think instead of doing the Danny DeVito, like that, and Arnold Schwarzenegger take, do you think everyone thinks you're twins? Kind of like a Shallow Hal sort of moment. Does everyone, does everyone actually believe it?
Oh, yeah, we've been getting away with it for years.
Yeah, they can't tell the difference.
No one can tell the difference.
It started in primary school when we sub out of class.
And we've just been living this life the entire time.
Yeah, in our matching black and white hoodies.
Yeah, because people
the idea.
only ever see that we're wearing the same clothes and therefore assume we're the same.
Right. You're the same person, same height. They're exactly the same.
They're coming to my comedy festival show and they're going, "You're in a tiny venue this year." And I'm like, just for something different.
And by the way, we're not like, just because because there might be some questions around, sex, race, gender, sexuality, all these sort of things that come up in the age. I think might be one that
I reckon the age
speculated upon. I got to be honest with you. The clear and very discernible age gap might be something that people might have had some questions about. And the great thing is we swear we're identical twins.
Yeah, which I love.
We're just this shadow of puzzlement comes over our face when people question.
I don't even know. Even I can't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, is this a joke?
Am I looking in a mirror right now? What's going on? You never
identical.
know.
We're identical twins.
What are you talking about? The age?
The age.
Not mentioning any names.
Thank you, the age. Not mentioning, cannot legally mention any names. The age. Now, Will Anderson, before we get into these wonderful confessions from Reddit.com, you have a book out. What else is going on for you at the moment? Because you got I'm not fine, thanks.
Yeah,
which is I've got 6 copies.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. If people could keep buying copies like Sam.
Well,
I've got one.
Oh, you got one? Okay.
I thought that was supportive enough.
Tom Ballard came over and took one.
Oh, of course he did.
He took one.
Mr. I don't like capitalism. Of course, he took a book.
Share. Yeah, very free.
Took a book.
They're just sitting there. They're ready to be taken by people that want to read it. On my way home, I'm going to
readings and I'm going to pocket 20 of his.
If people come to my live shows around Australia, you can get a signed copy.
Wow. Well, I got the signed copy from the live, the reading of not the reading.
Yeah, if you come alive, if you come and see me do the thing I want you to come and see me do, I'll sign my book as well.
Yeah, great. Even if you don't want.
If that's an extra bonus, then I'm happy to do that.
And you're signing them too.
I'm signing Will's books also, but no one knows. No one knows.
Everyone's
like, thanks, Will, kissing me wildly down at the.
It's been great, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been really good.
They're like, it's amazing that Will's doing his own merch stand.
And 2 shows.
Just between you and I, he's not.
But no one knows.
But some days I am. Or am I? I am not. I'm on tour at the moment, like everybody. So I have a new show. It's called Willuminate, and it's all about a fun comedy topic, which was that I stayed inside too long after the pandemic and got a bit scared of going back outside again. So it's a comedy show all about that, which, has been fun to do, actually. It's been like a really... I've really liked it. I was saying to your parents that, after...
This is such a funny conversation. I was just saying to your parents who were here when I got here.
Just having a chat to your folks about this, but... Because, they're closer in demographic to me than you are, so I have a lot more in common with your parents.
They're closer in demographic to both of us.
Correct. Nice save. Save.
Sorry, you're identical parents. No, I've got this wrong now. Forgot what story I was covering.
I think it's still good. We can save this. We've got John on the line.
You're identical goblets. So, okay. See, here's what I was going to say.
Say to my parents.
I was saying to your parents that after 27 years of doing shows, you very much, it very much becomes about what do I want to achieve from this process this year and what challenges do I want to set myself. And you judge it purely on that. And because also I'm off for social media, I literally judge it purely on that. Like I do my show every night. And then I just never run into anyone ever again who's seen it. I get no.
You don't see the age.
I don't. No, I don't look. I don't see any. I don't.
What a dream.
Yeah,
yeah. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because you're like, why am I doing this?
If not for the validation and the one tweet.
I don't want anyone to discuss this show with me.
Right. I just want to say it. And then we're done with it, right? Like, do not mention it again. I will not mention it before. I will not mention it after. I will say it, and then we will all go home.
Yeah.
I was thinking that last night. I'm out in the suburbs. Like, I'm not even staying in the city, which I think has changed my vibe to the festival. And my sister's family, they're all away on a school holiday, and they've got a dog. So it's great out in the burbs, like, you know, dog sitting. It's like, it's really good, you know, walk the dog every day. And it's a different way to do the festival than normally staying in the city in the heart of it all. And so I have just been able to go home. And last night when I was watching the football on the couch with the dog, you know, I was like, I'd almost forgotten that I'd already done a show that night. You know,
That's so great.
There'd been like 1,000 people at the Comedy Theatre at this show.
Yeah.
And I'm home with the dog eating popcorn, like watching the footy, just going,
what did I do
This
today?
is how I like to do it.
Yeah.
I just like, no fuss. Here's what I've got to say. Now I'm going home.
That's great.
Yeah,
so is this the first? Well, you weren't off social media last year, so this is the first time that you've done it.
This is my first one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And Willosophy's back?
Willosophy is back.
I was a Patreon
accidentally
waiting for Willosophy episodes, and it's finally come back.
Yeah, well, by accident. It's come back by accident. The theme of my show is it's about the struggles of going back outside again and trying to, you know, do things even when you don't feel like doing things. And for the last year and a half, for a whole bunch of complicated reasons, I haven't felt like doing that show. And I still don't feel like doing it. But I thought the theme of my stand-up show was very much about the idea that you have to sort of try to do some things that are difficult.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, I probably should try to do, like, you know, live what I'm actually going to be saying on stage to people for an hour, and then please don't talk to me about it.
The popcorn is already on. Don't you fuck with the process.
And you know what? I am going to let that dog sleep inside instead of outside when it's raining. I don't care.
God, you've changed.
I know. So, so I've started doing Willosophy again, accidentally. I just did a couple of episodes with some people I wanted to chat to, and then that seems to have turned into the podcast being back, so you can go and find that.
Yeah. It's so funny as well, like I guess you not making any promises as well for it to come back, because you're going, there might be an episode out next week. It's a good way to do it, to say there might be an episode out next week.
Pressure.
There might not. There might not be one.
Yeah,
if you make a stupid promise like me every Sunday, you have to record every week.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I found. For my state of mind, like the fact that I literally start, like the first 5 minutes of the podcast is me berating people that it might not be any more of it. Like, and then just, so I'm not promising anything. This doesn't mean that I'm back.
You can't hold me to anything.
Yeah. And no one is. No one is trying to hold me to anything.
Well, you don't know because you're not on social media.
I stopped doing the podcast. Oh, yeah, I mean, maybe they are, but I'm not seeing it, which is the point I was trying to make in the first place. It's amazing how you can live your life naively. It may well be, there may be plenty of people complaining about these things, but I don't see them, so I don't care.
Yeah, great. And do not at him because he won't say it.
Well, you can. I don't care.
You can if you want. His management will say it.
At me all you like about whatever you like. I'm never saying it.
So good luck. Do your worst is what he's saying.
Unless you're willing to at me in person, and you won't be able to because I'm at home on the couch watching football with the dog. Got away with it again.
Did it again, Endo.
Said my stuff, got my money, went home.
That's so funny. Now, Kirsty, you have a special out that people can watch right now, but you're also touring, so you'll be all a bloody round. So when this comes out, the Melbourne International Comedy Festival would have just been over, but you've got, I know. God. Thank you so much for the plug.
Future me will be so relaxed.
Yeah. You'll be with Will, hanging out with his dog. And meeting my parents every morning.
Yeah. Your whole family. Like, I wish your cousins would stop calling me, but whatever. We can't all have what we want. I got a special out on Paramount Plus. It's called Silver Linings.
Such a great special. Filmed at the Malt House.
Yeah. It was that's a fun thing. My podcast, Willosophy Pod's back as well.
Yeah, great. And there is a great episode with you on Willosophy if you want to check it out.
We erase that.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah. You were bumped. You got bumped off Willosophy as well.
It was too confusing for people. They were like,
it's like, is he just talking to himself?
Asking himself questions and responding. It's a bit weird.
This timeline doesn't check out. The age.
Yeah.
Another 3-star review from The Age.
So your podcast Willosophy is back. You've got a special out.
It's not properly back.
It's not properly back. We're not promising anything.
No promises. And then, I'm touring a show called A Bit of Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you'll be in Sydney. You'll be all around Australia. Is it going overseas this year? Is there any Kirsty Webeck abroad?
I don't think. I might go to New Zealand.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I'd like it to go to New Zealand.
Have you done New Zealand before?
I haven't.
Oh,
amazing.
I think, that'd be great.
I'd love to. I'm desperate to crack into New Zealand.
Yeah, you'd be great.
And I just found out that my special actually really recently got aired in New Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw the Age review. 3 stars.
It was 3 stars, unfortunately. I wish it had been one.
Unfortunately.
I wish it had been one. I mean, I could have written that review myself. I'm so used to them now.
I tell you, I once did one of the worst shows of all time, which won't surprise either of you. With Greg Fleet, we did a play together, and it was just one of the worst shows of all time. Fleety was not on his A game.
You did your best.
I did my best. Mate. I was great every night, but my co-star was not so great. And I did a play with Fiona Lachlan that year, and I did a play with Fleety, and it was a similar thing.
Somebody's got to make a movie about you.
Yeah, that's right.
You in that year.
Oh my God, the most stressed place in my life.
You're the one making the documentary. Someone's actually got to make a documentary about you and that year where you did a show with each of those people.
Yeah.
It could be the remake of The Year of Living Dangerously.
That's right. Yeah. And that year there was a terrible review. I think it was and it was fair enough. Like, I read the review, and it's horrible when you read a review and go, no, fair enough. They were both asleep one night. Both of them were asleep on the stage with me, and I was trying to do the show. And one of the reviews was a 2-star review, and the reviewer was just a really nice person, like a really lovely person.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 stars is better than some of the reviews I've gotten, and I've stayed conscious.
Yeah, that's right. You're famously usually conscious on stage. Famously.
It's tough when you're conscious and you get a worse review than someone who was passed out.
That's an indictment of you, Kirsty.
I'm going to say that's rock bottom.
And for you, that's the weird thing. Not for them, the person passed out.
That's right.
They're asleep. They slept through it.
They're thriving. It's me that needs to
Much like me and social media, they are not aware of the crisis unfolding around them.
I wish I'd fallen asleep. Might have saved my show.
And so this 2-star review that kept going, I was on Twitter at the time. I'm not on Twitter anymore, but I was on Twitter. And the person that wrote the review, every time I would put up kind of a nice review, which, to be honest, were not many, with a nice review, this person who wrote the 2-star review would go, don't forget about this one, smiley face, every time, like bringing the 2-star review back up. And I was like, I guess they're really proud of their review. And I never thought about it before that they were trying to get their review out there as well. Going, I'm really proud of this 2-star review that I wrote.
Right.
Yeah. They were proud of it.
Well, because they're a reviewer.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Like, you have something good to talk about in a 2-star review.
Absolutely. And they had some great points.
I love that they just kept plugging it, though, on everything you wrote.
Everything. Like, following me around everywhere I was, going, don't forget about this awful review
that's
that you'll
amazing.
never forget. Yeah.
That's like this year that just reminded me, this year I had 2... I guess open mic.
Sorry, who's talking right now?
It's me, Will.
Oh, sorry.
I had 2 open mic, I guess, comedians like that I've never heard of before. Every time I do a post on my socials about my upcoming show, they would plug their own show in the comment. And I was like...
2 blokes?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
How did you guess?
I know, it's amazing.
It's because we're two bodies in one brain.
That's right.
Yeah. That's right. We can read it. We finish each other's. We finished. Yeah, there we go. Good.
Fucking hell, that took a lot longer than it should have.
Sorry, yeah.
I'm giving myself a 2-star review for picking up on that.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that was brutal.
I fell asleep. What can I say?
What can I say?
Edit out that gap so people don't know. Edit it out.
I am keeping that
Turn
in.
the cameras off.
You are bumped next time.
I fell asleep. I fell asleep. I took a leaf out of your mate's
Sleep behind the wheel. Yeah. But a wonderful time.
I think
the show went great.
Sleep behind the wheel. It's my new show.
Sleep behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Now, Kirsty, is there anything else that you've got coming up? You're Kirsty Webeck and all the social medias. Is there anything else happening? You're
give
very
me a
funny
follow
on TikTok.
The social. Thank you. I'm trying to break into TikTok a bit. It's what people are doing, and Twitter's dying, and Twitter's been my wheelhouse for a while. But and I've got to let it go soon.
Well, you've got 2 comedians plugging their TikToks under every post that you do as well.
Yes.
2 males,
Two gentlemen, always. Yeah, look, hey, this is a fun thing. I've got a mailing list as well on my website. That's not the fun thing. There's heaps of those around. I'm not bragging about a mailing list.
You should. Be proud of it, mate.
I think it's all right. Yeah, I think
Will's not really impressed, but pretty impressed.
I'm kind of impressed.
Okay. I mean, Will's got a bit of a tell me more about this mailing list look about him right now.
No, I've heard of him, and I probably haven't. Like, there's probably other people in my lives who, like, you know.
You've got other people, because you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want that feedback.
I don't want that feedback.
No, I don't want any feedback. I think I've made that very clear.
You shut my parents down real quick.
Quick.
It was weird. Your mum wanted to give me such direct feedback.
Well, she knew this was the only way she could reach you, by coming around to
That's right.
I said, Mum, you are lashing out about these goblets. Please don't make your anger at that my problem.
My friends Kirsty and Will, all the same person, they're going to love the goblets when they come around. Just you wait and see.
Well, that's the problem as well. Your mum and dad clearly did not believe that we were 2 people.
That's right.
No, they didn't.
I'm looking at one person.
Like first the goblets, then this.
They were so dubious. Yeah, we were on the back foot from the get-go, I reckon.
Right.
Yeah.
So the mailing list, I've got a new live show coming out.
Right.
Long story short, with a very dear friend Ivana Ristigieta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I haven't said what it is yet.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now, it's an exclusive.
Are we the same person?
I know. Which ones of us are twins? It's the clue's all in the title. It's called The Big Animal Quiz. And it's
about race cars.
It's about race cars.
It's about race wars.
Race wars. Kirsty's finally tackling these topics. Tackling. I'll lock it in. No edits required.
So when you take out that little gap between she finished my sentence. You got to take that out at the end.
It was such a big gap.
Yeah,
and then every reference to it throughout the podcast.
Oh yeah, take this out.
Take this out as well. Yeah. Please, you've got to take this out.
Yeah, but leave this in.
Wow. What a fun editing job this will be.
Yeah. I know where your parents live. So I asked for their address.
You did. That's how you open most conversations.
I said, where exactly?
Where do you live?
What street number?
What's the number?
So you've got a new special coming out at some point.
It's not a special. It's a live touring show.
It's a live touring
show. Yeah. So it's called The Big Animal Quiz. Clues in the title. That's what it is. Yeah. We actually tried to do it as a podcast.
Yeah.
And then basically it was just way too fun to just have it as a podcast.
Oh, that's nice about this podcast. Thanks.
Yeah, this one's not very fun, so this one makes sense as a pod.
That's good.
But ours was too good to leave the public out of it.
Too good to record, right?
Too good to record. We decided to keep it as a live show.
Yeah.
And so we're going
So you could reuse the material?
No, that's not why, but I love that.
Right.
Oh, gee, I love that. You're getting instant feedback, Will. I love that.
At Will Anderson, loved that.
I love that.
Won't say it. That's the whole point. No positive stuff or negative stuff.
Just nothing.
Nothing.
Just you and the dog and some popcorn. Refreshing. So go and check. It'll be announced soon.
Join the
It's
mailing
coming.
list.
Yeah.
We're going to announce it soon.
Yeah,
we're doing our first one in June in Melbourne, and then we're going to take it around the country.
Oh, that's going to be so
Yeah,
fun.
we're going to have a couple of mates on.
Two
each
great
time.
comedians already. You and Ivan as well. That's great.
Heavy hitters.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
going to be intimidating for the guests.
Absolutely, and it should
Yeah,
be.
because whoever we get on will be way worse.
You'll rip them apart.
We're getting them on there to roast them, really.
Yeah, that's right.
We just deliver some home truths in front of a live audience.
I mean, if it is about animals, which the title does suggest,
Yeah,
that it
you're
would be
good.
a quiz about animals.
Yeah,
and
you're
that,
very good.
One mind. So we finish each other's
Sentences.
Okay,
That was
good.
good.
That was too
that
quick.
edit's
Could
gonna
you
go in
actually-
earlier.
Could you actually take? That was too much. That
I
felt
panicked.
pre-rehearsed.
I
yeah.
broke into a sweat immediately.
Take us half the gap from earlier and put it in between
I
that
like
gap.
that. A gap
So it's a
White noise.
natural.
I like that.
Yeah.
A
So
gap
it feels a bit
transplant
more
is where it's
Great.
at.
This is going to be
But now
so
you
good.
have to leave this explanation in.
Oh, no. No, I'm going to have a lot of notes on this. This is going to be difficult to edit.
Sorry, we've cooked the episode.
No, it's all right. It will never come out. I'm not even recording, I'll be honest.
But say I didn't know a lot about animals and I came on your show. Would I get roasted for my lack of knowledge about animals?
No, you wouldn't. You definitely wouldn't.
Okay.
Because the idea as well was that it's kind of meant to be family friendly.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be to begin with, but then we recorded a couple of episodes and we were like, oh, wow, like it's actually so wholesome and fun.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
people come with stories about animals and stuff. And then it's
And if
informative.
it's about animals,
you learn
then
stuff.
Yeah.
Why restrict it to not like kids love animals?
Totally. They
So
love
why,
them.
if you can make it something that kids can also enjoy,
Yeah.
why not do that?
Exactly. So
yeah.
it's educational, it's informative, it's super fun, but also like Ivan and I, we work really great together because we're very similar kinds of comedians, and so we want it to be like a really wholesome, fun kind of show.
Yeah,
So which obviously means that we're not going to get our mates on the show and be like, "You don't know anything about gorillas, Will. You're a loser."
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that specific thing to you, Will.
Something around that.
Yeah, it'll be about dolphins, but we won't be roasting anyone. And I'm the host, and everyone, the other guests, they essentially compete against Ivan.
Oh, great. Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, and the premise is that Ivan knows a lot about animals, but he doesn't.
Okay,
So,
right.
It's a great conceit.
Love it.
so it's just good, wholesome fun, and we're really excited. about
Eventually
kicking
he
it off.
will though, just by
will.
doing the show.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to create an
yeah.
absolute monster.
That's right. Eventually
Love
he
that.
will know a lot about animals.
Yeah, and then I'm going to lose him to Melbourne Zoo, and I'll just be doing this show on my own.
Do you think there's no business like zoo business would be something that he would step out of his quite lucrative comedy career into the zoo business?
No, that's good. That's good.
I reckon he would.
I reckon he would.
He's been hinted at me for months.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is big. This is big. Now we're going to get into some wonderful online Reddit
Oh, I
confessions.
forgot that's
I
what
know,
this podcast is.
Podcast.
having
This is a
such a good
podcast.
time.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Until
know it was
now.
a podcast. I was
we're
like,
gonna
why are we
spoil
sitting
it
in front of
with
these
Reddit.
microphones?
Why are they so close to my face?
I thought it was just three friends hanging out.
Just hanging out,
With
yeah.
Sam's family.
And plugging different things you've got going on in your life for
I thought
no
we were just
reason.
boasting to each other about how busy
I've actually
and
got a lot
successful
going on
we
at the
are.
moment. Yeah. We have 4 wonderful confessions.
Clearly wouldn't admit all that stuff about just going home alone every night and not going to the festival. To the
A few more edits. There's going to be a few more edits.
A few more edits. Edit some space into that.
Great. Some blank
Some of the
space.
silence from earlier and edit it in between each of my words in the
Mate,
podcast.
there's so much silence from earlier that you could use.
Yeah, there's heaps.
That's true.
It's about an hour up front when you weren't even here.
Record some
I'm always
silence.
recording.
Please go to the aquarium.
Yeah.
Go to the aquarium, record some silence with some fish noises in the
fish
background.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe the sounds of children at the
I tried to do a fish noise.
That was also the noise I made when I kissed Al. I thought I was kissing Al.
That was horrible. What just happened?
I hated the entire thing.
I just like to formally
Oh my
apologise.
Can I take this time? We'll do a notes apology after as well.
We're going to get cancelled. That's it. We've crossed
I'm
the
really
line.
sorry. Just to be clear, that was me.
Please
No
be
one
clear
put
because
me
it's so
up
hard
to
to tell.
And a quick a conversation that could be an off-pod chat. Do either of you have hard outs where you have to go? Because it's 20 to 2 when we're recording.
I want to see Edo show at 4.
Yeah, great. Yeah, great.
I'm on about that same schedule. I've got a 5 o'clock show of my own.
So we'll go for about
I've got
another
a 6
2
o'clock
hours.
show of my own.
Okay.
While we're mentioning
Yeah, well, I've got a book as well.
Okay. You own a book, yeah, we know.
We're competing to plug shows.
I own Will's book.
But what I love also is we're competing to plug shows that have already happened and people cannot buy tickets to because it's over by the time people are hearing this.
You can still make it to Will's at 6 o'clock. No, you cannot. It was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. See ya. I'm in Sydney, hopefully.
Crushing it in Sydney.
Craig's gone so well in Sydney.
Jump on those tickets.
Not doing a 6 o'clock Sunday though, so don't try to find that.
We've got the first confession today that comes from Jack. Jack confesses, yes, of course, I regret mailing my own shit.
Okay.
Straight away.
Okay.
You don't do that lightly, and you don't walk away from that with your head held high.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
How could I? You do something like that once in your life, and you call it a day. That was a general statement of once in your life.
I mean, again, I haven't heard the whole story, and I don't want to judge just from this little bit of information that we have.
You can if you want.
Well, no, because, there is a point in your life over the age of 50 where the government literally requires you to mail your own shit.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is what I was thinking of as well.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So I'm not going to rule out the idea that shit is something that cannot be mailed. The government literally requires it of you, for your health. They can find, it's really important to do, but you literally have to put some of your poo in the mail and mail it to the government. So
for your bum health.
For your bum health.
Okay.
Always look after your bum health.
So I'm not ruling it out completely.
Yeah.
I'm not saying in no occasion can you mail your poo, but it's not a rite of passage.
No.
It's not one of those things
No pun intended.
that I generally... Your one is for when you're over 50 and you have to mail it to the government. Like you can't just randomly be mailing poo to people, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
I think the recipient's a big variable in this as well.
Yeah.
If it's Santa, maybe it's fine. Like he's never getting it anyway. It's a victimless
Santa's like
crime.
your social media.
Yeah, that's right.
Does not exist.
Oh, mate, you can mail me shit.
Yeah,
I'll
please,
never see it.
Walk away from that with your head held high. How could I? You do something like that once in your life and you call it a day.
A day. That's a day.
You're probably needing some kind of backstory here, which is good.
I mean, yes.
Yes, we would like some.
Backdoor story.
That's good.
Sorry.
We'll be back after Miss Higgins. I think it was a strong out.
I'm so sorry.
That was a strong out. I'm so
3 weeks
sorry.
into this festival and I'm giving up.
I'm tired. I was supposed to just gee, I'm tired. Not the April announcer, but I had some fun with it. Having a good time over here. Some kind of backstory here, but don't say I didn't warn you. There was a guy I went to school with, Billy, who bullied me.
Billy the bully.
Billy the bully.
Okay.
Who bullied me in high school. Not in a nice way either.
No.
Usually isn't. No. He was the kind of person you imagine in an American high school film. A bully just for bully's sake.
Yeah.
Probably not though. There was probably issues
something else going on.
Or something else going on to make a kid act like that.
Absolutely,
Billy was in pain.
Billy was in pain.
Yeah.
Hurt people. That's what they say.
That's right.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
That is what they say.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
We'll go to Miss Higgins again.
Back to Missy.
not as strong of an out, but I like. Can you see the special two for 2.5 minutes, or 4.5 minutes, and then it's off. I hated him so much, and now 25, I thought that he was living in my neighbourhood.
Okay.
Not too far away from where we grew up.
Okay.
I was shocked to see him, really, and he had no idea it was me behind him in the shop buying some cough medicine and a bottle of milk. All great detail.
Cough medicine and
a bottle of milk. Just chugging the milk with the cough medicine.
If you shouldn't have dairy.
Nah, not when you're
If
sick.
you've got a cold.
Yeah.
No, it makes you very phlegmy.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like, what a silly combination of items to have at the shop.
Yeah.
I love you're getting your people facts out because you've got the animal show coming up. You can't get these sort of facts.
You've only
Yeah, that's true.
right.
Yeah.
No,
That's
but here's what I'm hearing here so far. I'm hearing that this person has been so substantially bullied by Billy that they are still traumatized when they see them in the grocery store. Like all this time later, they're 25, they've moved on in their life. So, let's assume it was some substantial.
Yeah.
And I believe that it's driven them to a life where they can't sleep without cough medicine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
Like I feel like
And warm milk.
Well, I think they're drinking the milk during the day, and then at night they're on the cough medicine.
Yeah.
Are they
This
just,
is-
are they
yeah.
drinking the milk? or
Straight.
like cereal, coffee. No, it's just.
No,
Just the
just
milk.
They're just putting it
Just
into a
milk.
goblet with a sewing needle for a stem.
Well, that's a litre.
I get 1 litre of milk a day straight into the goblet.
Straight into Sammy's
And
goblet.
then
Throughout the day.
just sip it throughout the day. And then at night, cough medicine to sleep because of the bullying.
Now that's
Yeah.
living.
Yeah.
Yeah, bullying's awful.
It's awful. I saw the back of his neck and knew it was him. I was so mad. He was on the phone talking about the girl he fucked and ducked the night before. I don't like that. I don't know why that's in there. That's weird.
Well, maybe to so that we don't.
Maybe to set the
empathise.
scene.
We don't. He's a terrible character still.
Yeah,
Right?
you're right.
Like, because here's the thing: he might have been a bully at high school.
Yeah, he
and
might be
like
better.
kids make mistakes, but they go on, they get their life together.
Yes.
This is us in the movie of this.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
very much seeing the idea of like, he was a bully then.
Yeah.
But don't have any empathy for him because he's a bad guy
Yeah,
now.
he's still a bad guy.
That's
There's
right.
no redemption
No
arc.
redemption.
I've
yeah.
never heard fucked and ducked, by
Me
the way,
neither,
and
yeah.
it's snappy.
It's snappy. It's good.
I don't like
Title
it
for
as a
next year.
concept, awful, but it's definitely my show title
Yeah,
for 2024.
Fucked and ducked.
Fucked and ducked. That's
I'm
Will on the
such-
couch at
I'm
9.
such a wholesome comedian as well. Like, I'm known for barely even swearing, like, let alone bringing up any adult themes.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I've got a show called Fucked and Ducked.
But
Webeck, I'm late.
you are literally right. Like that is exactly my approach to the festival.
Yeah,
I
fucked and
fucking duck.
It is.
Okay,
Yeah, I like
Billy.
that. Okay,
Maybe-
Billy.
Am I Billy?
Maybe
Billy
you
Anderson.
Can,
Uh-oh.
Oh, hang on.
Billiam.
This is a trap.
maybe Billy Anderson can have Fucked and Ducked for next year.
You know old Billy Anderson over there.
Where's Billy? He's fucked and ducked.
He's fucked and ducked. He's out in the burbs
Again.
with the dog.
Yeah.
He's fucked and ducked.
Will doesn't usually give up. Like, Will's busy schedule comes over and gets called Bill for hours. I was even mad he was having sex. I think that's a sort of, that really hates him.
Yeah, really, really.
I followed him home to see where he was living. I made sure I stayed back every few steps. Another thing I'd learned from films.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that feels intuitive to me. But,
Me too.
but
Yeah,
good-
not
but
getting
good.
caught. It's intuitive.
Yeah, but it's good to know the film industry is helping
Oh
people
my god!
as
Of
well.
course.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the twins film will be coming out shortly with you too.
Yeah,
so.
if we could give that a quick plug again.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is not made yet.
It's going into
so.
production tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out in 2 years,
Rights pending,
That's right.
I believe.
TM. To be very careful.
Early negotiations. Could tip over.
That week, I took a shit in a box and sent it to him.
Yep.
It was a slippery slope from there, if I'm honest. Always is.
Yeah.
It was, I kept sending it each week. I'd send another box of shit.
Okay, hang on.
yeah.
So, all right.
It wasn't a one-off.
Is there going to be a description of the shitting in the box or any of the process?
No.
So can we speculate about this
Sure,
at this
of
time?
course.
Because
Yep.
this is like
I've got time. You've got till 4.
Yeah, I've got till 5.
I'm going to show at 6, guys.
Will and I have shows
Comedy
to get to that
theatre.
we can't plug because they're in the past.
Yeah, they've already happened, but they went great.
they're
went
in
so
the
well.
future for us now, but the past for you.
Yeah. So we
later.
certainly weren't exhausted for working for free on a podcast. And then even then we get some burnt lasagna.
It wasn't for free. We got to meet Sam's parents.
That's a
That's
good
actually
point.
true.
Yeah. I wet
The
myself
greatest
halfway
payment of
through
all.
the show because I drank a goblet of water though. So
At least we'll be wetting ourselves around the same time.
Yeah,
Two
that's
bodies, one brain.
And relax.
So, like, this is where anytime one of these stories comes up in this podcast or in real life, you know, there's a famous story
Or
of
other
like,
people reading Reddit confessions to you, Will.
well, no, there's a famous story
I will see
about,
them.
I think it was the models that Nick Cave, it's a famous Nick Cave story where like Nick Cave, when he was in like the bad seats or whatever, they all went to see the models play and they threw their shit at them. And like in those stories, like it's always like, oh yeah, you're such punks and whatever. But to me, it's always about the practicalities of like, it's why I've
Yes.
never been a prop comedian. There's too much preparation. Like the
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
of doing anything like this where like every week you've got to get a box.
Yeah,
and then you've
yeah.
got to like shit. And what are you doing?
Your
Are
fibre.
you shitting straight into the box or are you like
Getting it out of something.
Also, I don't want
Yeah.
anyone to see my shit. Like regardless,
Yeah.
like it's
Private,
meant to
isn't
be.
it?
Yeah,
Private.
and then-
That's for you.
Like, even if you've ever had to give a stool sample, it's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very eviscerating having to show someone what your body's created and
That's
turned
true.
out.
Yeah,
And then-
tuned out.
And then if you're doing it every day or every week, like then you suddenly like you really are going to start to think about like, what am I eating?
Yeah.
And what sort of shit am I presenting and how regular I am? And now I'm paranoid about all that. Like, now this has become my problem more than it is any type of revenge that I'm getting out of this situation.
Yeah, well, because the person as well, surely after 2 box poos, the next time they get a box in the mail, I'm going to say I'm bidding it immediately.
You've got to be scared of boxes forever. So
100%.
you've done that to yourself.
You can have the bomb squad robot come in to check
what sort of box? How much is it costing you in boxes and postage?
I'm picturing a shoebox.
What sort of mail are you sending?
Express.
Like, well, are they freezing the poo or are they doing it fresh? Are they lining the box? Like, tell me
all
the
of
details.
these questions and more will not be answered in this confession. I'm so sorry. But it is interesting always when they gloss over probably the most important and interesting bit of the confession.
Tell me this. Give me a montage.
Give me something.
Like something.
Yeah, we
Give me
need
some
to know.
colour.
What happens if
How
at some
can you
stage
just skip on from that?
Yeah, because we might need to do a revenge poo at some stage, and
Of course.
we don't have the know-how.
Apparently you do one in your life.
One.
Apparently.
You've got
One revenge poo
One
in your
revenge
life.
poo.
One in for health. and one for your health.
And one for your health.
And one for good luck.
You can call that a revenge poo if you want to. If you really hate the government.
Be great. That's why those poo joggers keep getting off. They go in and they're like, well, that's your one.
It was like I was getting back at him for every time he called me names. I kept fretting about it, thinking maybe I'd get caught, but I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
I started walking closely to his house, hoping to catch a glimpse of him and the current state of his life. Since the anonymous admirer started sending him shit. And I don't think admirer is the right word to use there.
That's incorrect.
I mean, it feels like this person was very hurt by this other
absolutely.
person. I will say that. Like,
Absolutely.
And that's why the end of this is very confusing. This is the end. Anyway, I had done it about 10 or so times and I stopped. Suddenly I was done. Nothing more. That was that. It's been a few weeks since I feel terrible about it. I don't know if I should knock on his door and perhaps say something. It could be the worst if it wasn't even him, but them's the breaks.
Them's are not the breaks.
Them's not the breaks.
They're not the
I believe
breaks.
it's how it's said. Yeah.
I think we can unanimously declare that them's not the break.
Them's not the breaks. Now,
I mean, it's rare when the answer to any of these is you should be like completely honest about what you've done. Because in most of them, you're going to have to just cover up some of what you've done, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Like honesty can be the best policy, but it rarely is in these. It is not in this. You have created this problem.
Yeah.
If you're now in the last line introducing the idea, if it really is him, you've got to check after the first poo.
Yeah.
Maybe the first one you fight off, and then but at some stage, if you don't think if you've just been randomly sending 10 poos to like someone who isn't your childhood bully, then
like, what if that bully guy, Billy the bully, was actually visiting Sammy's parents?
Yeah. Then my parents are getting
and it says your
shit in a
parents have been
box.
opening poo after poo.
And I'd be like, it's people who've used Sam's goblets. It's completely
Revenge
understandable.
They're
They're
revenge poos. Because it's
shitting
Will
in one of my
Kirsty.
goblets.
It's revenge poos because they pissed themselves on stage after drinking a goblet of water.
I don't ever get a text about it, an angry passive-aggressive text. It's just straight to a shit in a box.
There's a little community. We've got a WhatsApp group. It's like, share the address.
Dox me. Now, what do you do, Kirsty, in a situation like this? If this was you, you're not knocking on the door.
Yeah.
No. Learn your lesson, I reckon. I say no more shits in boxes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're always saying that, though. You said that before we started the pod.
I'm a real stickler for this. It's getting boring hearing me say this, I think.
But I endorse it. I'm behind it.
No shits in boxes.
Yeah,
and maybe, maybe just if you can go and talk to somebody. Get it off your chest.
Yeah.
Mate, and I know that not everybody has access to those sorts of services, but if you do, just get it off your chest.
Chat to a friend.
Bullying sucks. I mean, I was really lucky that I wasn't really bullied in school at all. I was too funny.
That's right. Still are. Some would say.
Still are.
Some have said.
Get bullied now incessantly by you, Sammy P.
But my 2-star review I wrote about you.
Your 2-star reviews and pashing my relatives and pretending it was an accident. But
yeah, you're not convinced. You have to wake up pretty early to catch me out.
One thing we all know about Sam is you can tell every twin apart immediately.
That's
He's
right.
the one guy in comedy who can do it. The Lucas Bros, absolutely.
Yeah.
Guy in comedy again, huge.
edit that out, please.
Will's slipping a lot.
Edit that out.
I got him comfortable.
You're one of the few personalities
Oh, fuck!
who are able to tell twins apart.
You can leave it in, but you've got to get that pause from earlier and you've got to put it in between.
Do a big long awkward pause before Will saying comedian.
Comedy.
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 So I think we're both saying that here that we're both, because I count you as one person.
We are.
You are. So you're thinking, look, basically, don't go and talk to a friend about this. Talk to someone. Get through this. Whatever happened, but don't go and knock on the door.
Yeah, talk about the bullying. I reckon just keep the shitting in a box to yourself.
Totally.
I don't reckon anyone ever needs to know about that. I reckon that's
Ignorance.
like even a therapist, I reckon, is like, if you stop doing it and you don't need to do it anymore, you know what? You can leave that in the past.
Totally.
Yep.
I mean, it's come from a place of deep hurt.
You were just going through something.
Yeah.
It was a bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might not have even been the guy.
We can't confirm. We can't confirm.
Yeah. Let it pass.
Yeah.
Much like the shit
Oh, that's
in the
good.
boxes.
That was good. That was good.
True.
Well, let's move on to the next confession that comes from Penny.
Okay.
Penny confesses. I stole a fish from my friend when I was 12.
Okay.
I had a reusable cup, filled it with water, and popped it in.
Sammy, is this your confession?
Yes, about the goblets.
Is this about the goblets?
This is about the goblets. When I left, no one was any.
He calls them reusable cups. They're just normal goblets. Like
We all have cups.
Standard goblet.
they're cups. They're what cups do. These are just
Stop
normal
bragging
cups.
about them.
Reusable.
They're reusable.
Don't put it in the bin.
Yeah, those ones don't go in the bin.
They
I have to remind myself.
His mother whispered, please put them in the bin.
When I left, no one was any hipper to the fact of what actually occurred. One of our friends decided that it was most likely a fish that escaped.
Oh, yeah.
The fishbowl was close to the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, this happens all the time. Fish don't flip out of fish bowls all the time, but it was the most likely option.
Yeah.
Of course.
Could happen.
They do, and they do.
Is this your fact?
We had
This is your
fish.
fact.
We had fish as children.
Okay. And they do flip out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Genuinely, it was
right.
a strange mystery in our household. But every so often, we would wake up in the morning and there'd be a fish on the carpet.
Oh, right.
And there was glass on the top as well with like gaps in it.
Yeah.
But more frequently than you'd imagine. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to say over the duration of my childhood, there might have been like 4 or 5 fish that jumped out of the aquarium.
Mate, without that instinct, there wouldn't be human beings. That's how it happened. Just one curious fucking fish. That's
so true. That's
you
so
know
true.
what? I'm just going to see what's up there. Looks pretty cool.
It's pretty cool to me. Flipping around on that floor.
Every time I see a fish on the floor, I think, yeah, buddy, I get
I'm
it.
curious too. I guess we're all a little bit curious sometimes.
Yeah. Get it, girl.
Yeah.
You get it, girl.
That's it.
Flip
That's
around,
it.
girl.
You know what? They can't breathe out here, but try harder. You know?
Go off, hunty.
Yeah.
Go off, Hunty.
You be you. You're an outside fish. You don't need water. You do.
You're
but,
an outside fish.
You do, but you'll find that out
Yeah.
You'll find that
yourself
out,
in
yeah.
good time.
Teach a fish to fish. What's that famous saying? I'm not sure. We're back up to musicians. I think we can get out on that. I know we were talking about, it's like my fake radio show. I'm taking callers. And I know we were talking about it a lot of the time and drawing on lots of different scenarios. My friend, let's just call her Abby, wasn't taking care of her fish. There was just no way she could have, or she cared for a fish.
Oh, yeah.
She could hardly take care of herself.
Yeah.
She's 12, I guess. Her parents did most of it.
You would think so.
You would think so, yeah.
It's a high bar to think a 12-year-old should be taking care of themselves
Living
entirely.
by herself in this big city. I had always wanted a pet, but my parents wouldn't let me. It wasn't just an option at the time. I asked and asked, begged and begged, but it was of no use. I had to hide the fish from my parents and make sure that it was out of the way anytime Abby would come over. Yeah. She was so emotional, and there I was getting away with murder. She had no idea it was me. We remained friends and still are, but things were never the same after that. How could they be?
I mean,
I guess they could be if you
I guess.
pressed it down a bit.
Yeah.
Got her a new fish, maybe.
Yeah,
There are options.
it just, I mean, yeah, like stealing's not ideal, but it's very
Beautifully
low
put.
stakes for this
That's
amount
right.
of drama. There's a lot of drama.
Of the
attached.
it could never be the same again thing. It's way down the bottom.
I think
Way
so too.
down the like below shitting in a box, I reckon.
Yeah, way below.
On the scale.
Not even on the scale.
Not even on the scale.
There was just no way. So I didn't do anything at all. I'd never brought it up. I kept my lips zipped.
How long does this fish live? Do we know this?
We don't know. There's none of this. All of the things you want to know are not in here on Reddit.
I need to know what time period this,
Yeah.
has she been hiding a fish for 4 years?
Yeah, I guess if she thinks she really took care of it, like the other friend wouldn't, Abby. Now we're both early 20s, and I feel as though maybe time has passed enough to bring it up. Maybe she'll find it funny. Maybe she won't. I don't think she will.
I think she won't. I think lock in answer number 2.
Yeah, we can lock that in.
Yeah.
Don't need to call a friend. We'll lock that in. But I feel as though if I don't say anything, it'll haunt me forever. I'm not a fan of horror films and never will be. That is not relevant.
My favourite colour's green.
The end.
I don't like underwater films, ironically, for this fish-based story.
P.S. Nighttime scares me. Okay. Kirsty Webeck, what do you think?
Grease 2 was better than the original.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Michelle Pfeiffer, amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Now, Kirsty Webeck, what do you do in a situation like this?
Oh,
Do you tell Abby?
no. I'm looking forward to the day that I do this podcast.
Thank you so
Sam,
much.
where-
Thank you so
yeah.
much.
Thank you.
And
We're
I
all
don't
looking
get
forward to
past-
it. This
It's
is
not
great.
today.
We're bumping it.
Oh, no.
It's a great warm-up, though.
It is
One
a
of the
great
great
warm-up.
warm-ups.
It's lovely.
We're going to start recording in a second.
It's-
Sam's
Oliver
parents
Clark's
are
about to step in.
It's Oliver Clark and Sam's parents.
I'd love one to pop up
Yeah.
in which we all agree that they definitely should be like, yes,
Yeah.
you've
Tell
got
the
to,
other
you've got to
to
Say
confess.
something. Yeah.
So far, no. And it's always the same thing as well.
Yeah.
And it's guilt eating away the perpetrator.
It's more about them than it is about
It's
the other
always
person.
about them.
But-
They're like, it's killing me inside. I need to tell them. And it's like,
Yeah.
no good will come of it.
No, there's always a point where maybe telling the truth would have been the good thing, right?
Sure.
So immediately if you've done it and you've immediately told your friend, I'm so sorry, I don't know what came over me.
Yep.
I was the one who took the fish. Even make up some other little white lie to get over it and
Yep.
give the fish back. Like you could do it then. That was the time for telling your friend the truth.
Yeah,
But
yep.
if you've lived with this fucking fish in your cupboard for 6 years, hiding it every time your friend comes over and you two are still friends
Yep.
and you've got this fish secret,
Yeah.
you're going
Fish secret, the worst secret.
worst secret of all the fish
I
secret.
can't even talk about it.
Fish lips sinks ships, as they have always said.
They've always said that.
I've said
always
it
said- you've
several
said
times. Can't stop saying it.
You and my parents were going on about it.
The fish in their lips. They said that they were literally, it was after the conversation about how fish should live in those goblets, and they said they already had. They were in them
Fucking
last
goblets.
The goblet.
time. They couldn't stop talking about the goblets.
I couldn't.
Talked about Elliot Goblet for a little while,
right.
which was very weird. Loved him on Hey Hey It's Saturday, apparently.
Big Elliot
comedy
Goblet
festival. They
fan.
were like, is Elliot Goblet doing a show? I said, not this year. I don't
You're not
think."
interested in your show.
Bring
No.
him back. Yeah,
Bring
asking
him
for
back, finally.
recommendations from you.
Elliot
Like,
Goblet.
What's
Yeah.
Elliot
Will,
Goblet
who would you
up
say?
to?
Yeah, are there any
Elliot
good
Goblet.
shows on? Is Elliot Goblet putting one up?
I remember flyering once on my first comedy show I did, and flyering and saying, I'd love you to come and see my show. And the guy goes, I only see Will Anderson, and then kept walking. That was Will Anderson. No, it
It was me.
was you the whole time. It was like such a great shutdown. I only see one person, and you're not him.
But
It's like, okay.
also, what?
Yeah, I know. I only see Will Anderson. Okay, fair enough. I see him too every year.
Yeah,
I get it. I'm with you. I get it.
I don't demand exclusivity. That is not a requirement.
You have to sign an NDA when you come in.
He's put that on himself.
Yeah,
Please, I literally say at the end, he's like, as you know, Sam, you see my show. It's at the end, I always do a bit where I say, please go and see another show. Yeah. He's the guy who sits there and hates that bit.
He blocks that bit out. Someone you've never heard of. And you always say someone you've never heard of and someone, that you've heard of. Yeah. Just as someone you've never heard of, me literally after the gig going, that's it. No.
Yeah.
I've already seen him.
One.
So sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's so funny. It's Will as well because you're famously like the person who's constantly telling people to get around.
That's right.
Other up and comers.
But this one guy's not heard that at all.
I don't
got the complete wrong message.
I only see Will.
Will's so funny.
And I leave before he plugs other shows.
Yeah, that's my favourite bit where he plugs other shows I'll never see.
He's just way up the back in the theatre going, boo.
Boo.
Hate this bit.
Get back to you. Don't want to hear about these clowns.
No, thank you.
You're here every year. Don't need anyone else.
And he's already seen your show, so it's redundant plugging anything else because it's over. Like us plugging our Melbourne shows on this now.
So, Will, what do you do in a situation like this? You think you agree with Kirsty, don't say anything. It's more about you.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Never say anything about this ever again. This is you.
Move on.
You take the emotional burden.
Yeah.
Like your friend has moved past. Yes, you, Sam. you.
Yeah, not the writer.
No, I need to. Yeah.
You reach out to them through reddit.com and you say, I will take this burden.
I'll take this on. I'll take this on.
Yeah. And if you have trouble sleeping at night, I hear cough medicine.
Yeah, it really helps. Just have some warm milk and some cough medicine. Just mix them together. Right off.
That'll get you through your emotional burden.
Every time. We have 2 more confessions. Confession 3 comes from Ben. Ben confesses. Lied about a lot of things in my time. Like I can do a backflip and stand on my hands for longer than I really can. But the worst of all is I lied about seeing my best friend's girlfriend cheat because I didn't like her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can lock me up for that.
They can't.
Legally, you cannot.
100% cannot.
It's hard enough to lock someone away for like
It is. It's really hard.
That's going to be a really hard one.
It's a hard
enormous burden of proof in general to detain someone against their will.
Good luck.
I tried to get a comedy rival locked up once and they wanted evidence. It was awful.
Mate, if it was easy to get people locked up, people would be getting locked up all over the joint.
That's so true. But the worst of all is I lied about seeing my best friend's girlfriend cheat because I didn't like her. Yeah, you can lock me up for that because I'm guilty as Hal. Guilty as son. I think sin, but I like son.
Sure.
Guilty as the son. Pretty guilty. My son.
Yeah.
And you're probably thinking that I'm walking around after that thinking I'm fine now. No, I'm not.
I wasn't thinking about you at all until like a little while ago.
Just zoned out.
And we've already been on a journey.
We know he can't do a backflip.
I've heard that you're a liar. Who's lying about things that are easily disprovable by somebody saying, hey, do a backflip.
Go on, do a backflip.
Go on, do it. I don't have to prove it to you.
Yeah. That's a great call. Great line to come back.
Why'd you bring it up, though?
Why are you always talking about it?
I was just making conversation.
I was just making conversation.
I can do a backflip to fill in the gaps.
Where do you live? I can do a backflip.
I'll edit that bit. I'll take that bit and put that in the pauses.
Could you?
I can do a backflip. All right, well.
That'd be lovely.
Old Bill Anderson talking about his backflips again. I'm more worried than I've ever been, and you guessed it, because I'm an old friend. He believed me instead of her. That's how deep our blood ran. Beautifully put. You all right, Will? He's purring, I think. She wasn't the most terrible person. In fact, she was fine. So it's even worse. She was fine. But she did little things that annoyed me that I now look back on and see as possibly her being nervous by a new friendship group.
Oh, my gosh.
And nothing more sinister. Isn't that awful?
Oh, this is awful.
It's really bad.
She walked in and ignored me one day, which made me feel like a small man.
Yeah. God.
Is there nothing worse in the world than being treated as a small man?
Do you know what?
Can't have a woman make you feel like a small man.
Some of my best friends...
You must tear down their relationship.
Some of my best friends in the world are small men.
Danny DeVito and twins, one of the best.
Love jockeys. Famously love jockeys.
Love them. Yeah.
And she once told me that I sounded like a squash baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
It's also fun.
But and what were you doing? Like, that's very specific. You had to have made a squash baby noise.
That's right. Yeah. Have you heard of squash baby? What are you talking about? Got a lot more questions.
I feel like small man hurt you more than squash baby.
Small man definitely hurt you.
Yeah.
And lots of other things that I won't go into here.
Yeah.
So it goes into the back flap and stuff, but no more. We don't want to keep him.
Yeah.
He's on Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not the forum. Fucking Reddit usually
It is
but
absolutely the forum.
It's actually the only forum.
If this is not the forum, then there is no forum. Other than
I'll log on to 4chan. It's just not the forum. And so now what? Well, I went to my friend and told him that I saw her at a bar and she was kissing someone.
Okay.
It was all made up. Mm-hmm. What happened was I saw someone kissing someone at a bar and made the whole rest of it up.
What? You know?
Took some inspiration. I took creative license. Is that how you probably come up with your shows, Will? Something that I think happened and then made the rest of it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Made the rest of it up in the way that those Law and Order episodes that they say aren't based on actual events, but are literally the exact same story that happened in real life.
This all feels like when I messaged Gemma about seeing you kissing Elle's twin.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
How stupid can you get? They had this big fight about trust.
Yeah,
and they're no longer together because, of course, she just went, that didn't happen. And then they had this big fight.
And that becomes the problem.
Yeah.
If you just admitted it, it's fine. We could get through it. But I can't admit it because
I literally didn't.
literally didn't do it.
Who told you? A small man.
A very small man.
A tiny squash baby.
Were you on the phone to a baby? Did I just hear you on the phone to a baby?
Why are you always talking to babies on the phone? But he's so sad.
Who's this baby?
Hold on. Who's this baby talking to me?
Small man / squashed baby.
Yeah. It's okay. It was either a jockey or a baby. I couldn't quite work it out. But.
Riddle me this.
Yeah.
But he is so sad. And I think I might go and see her and tell her that I was the one who made it up. And yes, even though I have a good imagination, I know I had to throw that in, it wasn't right and I need to be held accountable for that. I think maybe he thinks that she'll go, what a wonderful imagination though. Like really back him up and say how wonderful he is to have thought of that in the first place. Now, old man Bill Anderson, what do you think to do in a situation like this?
Well, I mean, it depends really here. I think in this situation, this is one of the rare few where at least the instincts are at least noble, which is that it will actually have it's not about just clearing their conscience in this regard, right? Like this might be something that where they suffer, like, you know, they might lose their friendship. They might be like, you know, ostracized for like this lie or whatever it is, but they're doing it in order to make their friend happy, or at least open up the possibility that like, you know, if I admit this, if I was the one who did this, maybe at least there's an opportunity for them to be able to have a discussion about the fact that, and they can either rekindle or not rekindle, but at least it's resolved that, you know, this thing that between them. That's a noble instinct by this person.
Yeah.
You got to be prepared that you're going to lose some shit by doing it. But if you're prepared to lose it, like to do the right thing, I don't know, Kirsty, am I about to suggest that somebody actually telling the person might be the right thing?
I think you're about to suggest that, and I can't believe the timing of this after I read out my thesis on this very thing a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Don't worry, it was cut down a lot. In the end.
Just because you add some silences into this, but like...
Will can do a backflip.
I think that going to her is the right thing.
I think so too.
Like, rather than the friend and saying, I'm sorry, this was me, because it's your problem with her that has started this.
Exactly.
And look, she may just decide never to tell the friend. She might be like, hey, I've moved on. And like, you know, I don't want to destroy the friendship.
There were trust issues.
And I, you know, it wasn't the only thing. This actually brought up a whole bunch of other things. And thank you for telling me this must have been a really hard thing. I don't want to destroy your friendship with him, and I'm not going to tell him. You can tell him if you want, but I'm not going to. But that's your best case scenario. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen.
But I don't know. I feel like this is one of those things that if you genuinely think particularly that it hurts him that they're not together or that is unresolved, then, man.
If I were the person who did it, I would tell if I was genuinely sorry,
Yeah.
I would tell them both.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd know, like, it's 99% certain that your mate will be like, all right, well, get out of my life.
Yeah.
Like, I love
If you
this
could do that,
person,
then,
Yeah.
and you've ruined my relationship.
Yep.
But
That's why I'm trying. That's why I'm going to her first. Because I'm thinking if I can maybe get her to realize that that's what went on, and there is still a chance they get together, I can win back the friendship by getting them back together and at least.
You're going to play matchmaker.
Well, at least try to undo the mistake that I clearly made, and say I don't expect anything from this, but. I hope that maybe one day you guys will be able to forgive me, and I needed to tell you the truth because I wanted you to give you the chance to be together, and then
too.
I think that's nice.
I'm going out in a blaze of glory over here. I'm going full martyrdom.
Light the place up.
I'm setting myself on fire to keep them both warm.
What would I actually do? Leave the country, change my name.
Having some popcorn on the couch with a dog in 10 minutes.
I'd be rocking up and I'd be saying, look, I'm really sorry about what my identical twin Will Anderson did between you two.
My show's on at 5.
Love to see you there.
You can't go. It ended last week.
Not for that one guy that only sees Will Anderson. So I think that's great advice because there's nothing more that can come from this. He can't just let his friend lose someone like that and just, it's not going to be good for his conscience, which is not as important as actually coming clean and saying, giving them another chance, I think is a great thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think this guy, had some issues about like being told that he's a small man
Absolutely.
by a strong woman. And I think part of the process of reconciling that is admitting that and talking to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having a conversation.
Or buy some boots with heels.
Yeah, that's a good option.
I mean, also maybe just buy some boots with heels.
Don't tell them. Buy some boots with some nice
I would
heels.
suggest a really expensive car. Like, just get a really expensive car.
Suzuki Motors.
A Suzuki.
Not a plug?
It's not a plug. Definitely not.
Definitely not a plug.
You use the discount code.
Sorry.
Webeck 100. And also stamps.com if you want to.
Yes.
Anyway.
Good way to go.
We've got one more confession today that comes from Adam, the final confession. Adam confesses, I staged a break-in to my friend's house that I can hardly explain, but please let me try. I know you two are stopping me.
Please try.
Please try.
Come on. Explain.
I know there are a lot of reasons why you might decide that you don't like me, but this would be it for sure.
Okay.
We don't know the other reasons.
No.
He can't do a backflip, maybe. We're not sure.
I'm speculating.
Yeah. I've got a lot of opinions. My friend was flashing about these really rare cards he has. And I was thinking he'd at least offer me one. All right.
Okay.
Wow. Right after that. Now, the word wow is used a lot in this, and it doesn't relate to anything. I'm not sure if he accidentally hit it at the end, did a bit of a copy-paste, but it's in a lot.
Okay.
Right. He's had to fill in some silence.
So
That's right,
his
yeah.
friend's got
Straightforward style.
expensive like cards, like vintage cards.
Vintage cards, yeah. They're
Are you
trading
saying cards
you're
with
right.
a D? Like trading cards?
Cards, yeah, trading
Yeah.
cards, yeah.
And he expects to be offered one of
Offered
them.
one, yeah. I know when I go to someone's
Totally
house and they
manners.
never offer me one of their expensive rare cards.
Yeah.
I always
But you've
offer
got
it.
heaps.
I've got heaps in a lovely
Hand it
goblet.
over. Just one.
Well, I only want one.
How many dollar notes have you got in your pocket right now?
just
you
want
didn't even
one.
offer
I
me
love
one.
money. I love money.
I love money. You know I love money.
Yeah,
Just give me one.
yeah.
wanna look at
you
it.
did offer us lasagna. Like,
That's
can
right,
I have?
burnt lasagna.
Could I please have whatever I would have eaten in lasagna in cash?
Yeah,
I like that
me
attitude
too.
to life.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I
you were
wanted a
willing
big
to offer me
piece.
the lasagna.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah,
don't
yeah.
punish me just because I didn't want to eat lasagna. Give me $3.
Yeah. I was having $15 worth.
Yeah.
I'd like $15
I'd like
worth of
15
my
exactly.
massive
You were
slab
hungry.
of
You said that
lasagna.
just before.
I haven't eaten for 3 days.
I'm famished.
Yeah.
They're trading cards, and I'm probably one of the only hobbyists, or at least that he knows, that would know exactly how much they would cost.
Okay.
He was fanning himself with them and generally showing them off.
Well, he does sound a bit like
He does sound a bit of a dick.
a dick as well.
I was doing that with lasagna,
Yeah.
grabbing and fanning myself.
Yeah, that's why I said no. Because
Because it was in my hands.
frantically fanning yourself with my lasagna, I was like, oh, do you know what? I just
Don't worry about it.
come full.
He's not the kind of guy who would even notice if they went missing, but he did warn me not to touch them.
Okay, well,
I
then
think
he'd
he might
notice. Yeah, that's implied in saying don't touch them is I'd notice if one went missing.
You don't trust your friend in your house. He even held a finger up at one point and said, "No such luck."
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Well, then again, he cares.
Yeah, he cares. He cares about them. And that was that.
This guy doesn't see signs, obvious
He
signs.
doesn't read people very well.
Very well.
I tried to take one of the rarest as I was leaving his house.
One of the rarest too, not even one of the ones that
That he wouldn't notice.
He
It might
definitely
slip
wouldn't
under the
notice.
radar.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
bizarre.
But he did not take his eyes off me because he doesn't trust him.
No,
again.
and,
Yeah, that's
and
totally
he wants
fair
to
enough.
keep his cards.
Yeah.
Clearly, you're going to steal his cards.
I'll be watching the lasagna like a hawk when you're leaving.
This is like me
right.
taking the only morsel of unburned lasagna on my way out.
What a great
tell you-
treat that would be to find.
I tell you, Kirsty, you'll be hard pressed to find that.
Mate, if I find it, I've done the work
That's
and
right.
I deserve it.
That's right. Needle in a haystack over here.
Yeah, not from what his parents were whispering to me on the way out.
One of the worst lasagnas. Instead, I decided to stage a break into his house.
Yeah.
Great.
Because he'll never suspect you, the one person he definitely suspects.
He doesn't trust and stops and holds up a finger every time.
Yeah.
No such luck.
Wonder who did this. The only other person in the area who knows the value of these
The
cards.
hobbyist.
The only other hobbyist.
Knowing he was away and had to make it look real.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise, right?
What,
I think he's
what noise?
There was no noise.
What noise is he fucking?
Yeah,
I think
it's
he
your
thought-
own noise.
I think he thought that we were agreeing with him up until this point. Like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Oh,
I think that's what it
okay.
is, yeah.
Is he about to fucking duck?
I'd fucking duck.
Is he fucking and ducking the cards?
I'm worried about it.
Okay.
He wasn't going to stop me. I took the card.
What?
I took the card
Isn't he
and
awake?
very small items so it wouldn't look too suspicious. And now I have the card and sold it for almost, how much do you think?
Oh, this is going to be grim.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
It's rare.
It's
Do
rare.
we know what sort? We don't know
We
what
don't know
sort
what
of
sort of
card
card
it
to
is.
buy.
$500.
$1,000.
Higher.
$5,000.
Higher.
$10,000.
Correct.
Wow.
10. That was a fun game as well. Because
we-
one of the great games.
Can you Google something else and have us guess?
We got there pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like it was a nice natural build.
yeah, it was nice.
I genuinely was really excited in that
a great
moment
game,
as well.
yeah.
I felt very alive.
There's no prizes for once. After 3 weeks of doing your comedy festival show, you finally feel alive.
Yeah, I was
again.
a husk of a human when I arrived, but that guessing game really.
If that's what it's like with numbers, I can't wait what it's like with animals.
Thanks for the plug, Will.
I have the card and sold it for almost $10,000. Wow.
Okay, wow.
I was in the heat
Finally, a wow
Finally,
that
it
is
does
in
make
the
sense.
appropriate place.
I was in the heat of the moment.
Wow, fuck that noise.
Fuck that noise.
Fuck that noise.
Fuck that noise. I was in the heat of the moment is the only way I can describe it. And sure, now I have to come to regret it and I just feel awful about the situation. You look at your life through a lens sometimes in different ways you've made. Wow. This is definitely... He surprised himself by how deep he is.
Did that just come
Did I just
tumbling out
say
of my
that?
face?
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. This is definitely one of the ones I regret the most and fills me with a lot of dread.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Woe is me. I don't know if wow,
Wow
is
is
me.
me.
But wow is me.
Wow is me.
Wow is me. I just wrote that. Wow is me. Woe is me, I know. But I can't believe I acted in this way and scared my friend and the poor person who installed his security because he ripped through him. I think, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Wow. Can't believe this is my life. Wow. Okay, anyway, I think I should tell him that I got crazy and did this. I think you'll understand because he used to get blackout drunk. Wow. Back in the day, and he did some rather questionable things and hijinks.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I'm inspired. I want to start using wow.
I think you should. Wow.
Wow.
I think you should use wow all the time. I think.
I don't think I'll be able to stop in my show tonight now.
Wow.
6 o'clock Comedy Theatre.
I am Will Anderson. Wow.
Love to see you there. Wow.
Wow. Thanks
Wow.
so much for coming out.
I am absolutely
Wow.
going to start my show by saying wow. No doubt.
Me too.
100%.
Can you do it on Tuesday night?
Yeah,
I'll be there on
okay,
Tuesday night. I want the wow. I want the wow factor.
Wow.
Wow.
The reviewer's going to be like, Will was genuinely overwhelmed that people already showed 2 stars.
Wow.
Didn't hear about it.
Wow. Don't care. Wow. Now, Will, what do you do in a situation like this? Now, this is a pretty fucked circumstance to be in the first place.
It is. Still friends with the guy, though, it seems.
Yeah, good friends.
And seems like he's got away with the fact that it was him, the most less likely suspect.
The famous obvious.
The famous obvious person.
No such luck.
Well, it feels like he's got away with it, though, from this, doesn't it?
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I don't feel like there's a lot of good to be done for confessing this at this point.
Should you give him the $10,000?
Yeah, anonymously.
Yeah.
I think that would be the way to do it.
In a box with some shit in it.
Send him a shit in a box, but inside the shit, if he's willing to look, is $10,000.
That's right.
Yeah, he's just got to rummage a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do some work. I can't do all the work here.
Do a real life taskmaster.
Great. That's perfect. What do you do, Kirsty Webeck?
Yeah, look, one of the confessions before was like about being locked away, and we were like, no, you can't get locked away. Well, this is a crime.
Yeah, it's a crime.
Wow.
You can get locked away if your friend hates this. Wow.
Your friend hates being robbed. Wow.
If your friend's a little bit touchy.
Oh yeah.
And has an aversion to being robbed.
$10,000 being taken from him.
He's fragile.
Wow.
Wow. They could literally call the police.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I say return.
Have you ever had anything stolen that's of like that sort of value?
Well, I had and Will, you donated to this. I had all of my camera gear. I was making a documentary. Yes. All of my camera gear was stolen out of the boot of my car. And you never guess what I said when I opened up the boot and it wasn't there. Wow. And I was trying to finish something and it was like, I think it was like $10,000 minimum, like what it was worth at that time was taken out of the boot. I never trusted my famous hobbyist friend. It was in there. No such luck.
Yeah, you'd always be slightly suspicious even if you didn't have full evidence like in this situation.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Like someone stole my car and like I'm over it, right? Like, but if they came up to me and like, particularly if it just turned out it was one of my friends who organized it, like if that was I think I'd say more than wow.
I think so too. Yeah.
I'd rather not know. Like, if
it was your friend.
I've moved on.
Sure.
If it was one of my friends, if that was actually the case, I would if one day the money just appeared in my bank account, like I'd be wrapped.
Wow.
But I would never need my friend to admit that it was them who did it. No,
you don't need that. Yeah. And hopefully your friend won't do something like that again. I feel like he's learned from it, but it's also he's now got $10,000.
Yeah.
So it's sweeten the deal a little bit.
Get that $10,000 back. I think if you've taken something from someone, it won't necessarily be helpful telling them and then doing the time in prison.
But repaying it is.
Repaying absolutely. Yeah. And that'll absolve you of a little bit of
a few coffees here and there. No, I'll get these.
I'll get this. And you've got a little...
Do you want a muffin?
You've got a little charter that every time you just like cross it off.
And then he asks you for some money in the end.
$347. What was that?
Crossing off $4.75 a time.
He gives him $10,000 and 4 cents, and he's like, "I'm going to need that 4 cents back." I paid for something else, and it just didn't add up right. The tally was off.
Let me get that. Let me get that.
They're not allowed oat milk with their final coffee.
Yeah. No oat.
That 50 cents
I mean,
extra.
It's a very selfish way to do it because you are getting all the reflected glory for being so generous all the time.
Sure.
But basically, you could pay it off in that way.
Yep.
And then you would get the bonus of like also being seen as being a generous friend.
Yeah, that's true.
I reckon $10,000 in a shoebox.
Yep.
Delivered to the house.
Delivered to the house.
I say $8,000 in a shoebox. 2,000 in coffees.
2,000 in coffees. Still a lot of money in coffees.
9,000 in a shoebox, 1,000 in coffees, and that's my final offer.
But you have to buy all of the coffees at once.
I reckon 1,500.
1,500.
You'll come at that. 1,500.
Okay.
Yeah. Kirsty will meet you there. Yeah. So that's the only way forward. Now, at the end of that, we've had 4 confessions from 4 wonderful people. Now, I usually ask after that if one of them could be cast as a major motion picture. Which one?
Couldn't.
But like, honestly, do you think you want to scrap those and go with the Twins idea?
Yeah.
The remake of Twins. I think
look,
it's going to be huge.
If we're only making one movie this year, then It's got to be that movie.
Well, people only usually go and see one movie a year. I see that in a lot of reviews.
Yeah, well,
if you can only see one movie,
why make more than one then?
That's right. Only one.
No need to.
Yeah, there's no need.
In the same way that I will only go to a Will Anderson show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'll only go. There's probably an audience out there that'll only go to a Will Anderson movie.
Yeah, that guy really listened to. If you can only see one show this year, he goes, I'd love to see more, but I can only see one.
Do you reckon that person will be upset when there's two Will Andersons for the price of one, or overjoyed?
I feel sorry for him when, like, you know, I inevitably say something that he doesn't like, and then he has no one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I was all he had left, and now he's got no one.
Bastion.
That's it.
Going to the comedy festival this year, he looks out the window. Used to.
Yeah. Used to. Can't go into the city in April.
I can't go in the city in April.
Can't go into the city in April.
It's a whole month I can't go in. Only 11 months of the year I can go into the city.
Well, there's not many options for shows.
That's right.
Anyway, so that's the problem.
Well, I mean, as everyone recommends in the comedy festival, like, you know, go see me first and then go and see someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone says that.
When you've just been this good for this long, like,
that's right. Why would you?
Lock in a cider.
Yeah.
One you can rely on.
Yes.
Some of these younger comedians don't have the long track record of excellent consistency that I have.
The great work.
Trust,
it's true.
Yeah, then take a risk.
Quality.
You don't feel as bad, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very true. I mean, I approach seeing people's shows in a similar way as somebody who's a comedian myself. And also, have you ever been asked for a plug from someone?
Am I about to be? No, I plug you all the time.
Well, you do plug me all the time. Thank you very much. I owe half my career to Will, if not all of it. I've been asked to plug people before.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But also people...
During the show, heckle?
Yeah, heckle. People that I've never seen before or people that I have, and I'm like, oh...
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Well, if you haven't seen them...
I don't know if my people are your people.
Yeah.
Well, also... Like,
Rodney Rude.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to think it is a bit of a recommendation. So, like... Implicit in that recommendation is that I recommend shows that I think people who see me, because the last thing I want to do is send a bad audience to a show as well, right?
Awful for the comedian.
Awful for the comedian, awful for the audience. Like, you've got to make sure that, like, because there's comedians I like that I think that maybe my audience, it wouldn't be for them.
Yeah,
you know?
sure.
Yeah, where there's others where you're like, okay, well, like if I send you to see Bronwyn Castle or somebody, then like you'll love it. Like you'll all get it. You'll all understand that she's really good and like what she's trying to do. It'll be good for her. It'll be good for you guys. Yes. You'll get to see someone who's a star on the way up. You know, that sort of thing. Yeah. Whereas like there are some acts that I love that I wouldn't necessarily, even when I recommend Jordan Gray's show, just because Jordan at the end, you know, she takes off her clothes and, you know, she's got her boobs and her, you know, penis out on full display in the show. I'm like, you need to like have a sense that that is the show you're going for.
Yeah, sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Like so that it doesn't ruin it for everybody else who's in the room. You know, like definitely. More than anything is like, I want comedians to have good audiences.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like sometimes people mistake that idea that like a lot of people is like, I mean, and I get it, like, because it's very easy to say when like a lot of people go and see your shows that like we all remember what it's like to be desperate for anybody to come to our shows. But really what you've got to do is get the right people to come. Even from the start.
Yeah.
Even if that right amount of people is 10, 20 people at the start, then it's got to be that right 10 or 20 people so that they grow the right next 10 or 20 people.
And
like
more
and if
recommendations and more.
You see it sometimes even in someone's careers where like I remember like if you're an Edo or someone like that, a Celia or whoever would have like this moment in their career where they'd be coming up through the comedy scene and like everybody be vibing on what they were doing and like, you know, that obviously like, you know, be these really exciting acts. And then they cross over into like being on a mainstream show, like a Channel 10 show or something like that, where they suddenly got this audience coming in that weren't their comedy festival audience that absolutely understood what they were doing. They were people who'd seen them once on, you know, Have You Been Paying Attention or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And they'd come in to like one of Edo shows or whatever and go, oh. Like, and not
what's happening?
Not like it, but just not be.
It wasn't exactly what they were ready
for. What it was like, you know, and And the last thing you want to be is the person who sent that audience into someone's show.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like, I love Sam Campbell, but I'm not sure that all my Saturday night audience would love Sam Campbell's show.
Yeah.
That's so true. Look, now we're gonna make the twins film. Is there anyone that you want to cast in this film along with you? Who
are we going to cast as you?
Wow. Okay.
Or what character can you play? Both.
I could be the personality. I'm a great personality. Maybe I could be a shop attendant or something. I'm more than happy to do that.
Yeah. Okay. So I think maybe in the scene who's playing you in this?
God, I think Dave Lawson.
Yeah, Dave Lawson.
Dave Lawson. He's got the range to play me.
Perfect casting.
He's got the range. Or the actor Stephen Curry. But we'll go Dave Lawson.
Dave Lawson. I feel it. I'm already vibing on it. Yep. So Dave can do it.
Yep.
So Dave Lawson is playing you, and he interacts with the real you in a shop.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
So you're the guy serving.
It's really meta.
Yeah, the whole thing is.
The whole thing is way too meta.
It's so meta.
So meta.
It's always meta at the expense of anything else going on.
That's great. Yeah. Are you two on a road trip or anything? Do you have a theme in mind?
Yeah, but on a roundabout.
On a roundabout. You're in Canberra.
Yeah.
We're in Canberra.
Lovely hometown.
University of Canberra.
Yeah, it's set at the University of Canberra.
It's set there.
And we get stuck in an infinite loop of roundabouts.
We have to put a little thing on there saying it may cause dizziness.
Yeah, it will.
It will.
It will cause dizziness.
Because it's just like one camera just connected to the car.
It's actually pretty great because Canberra has a twin city, Queanbeyan, which is over the New South Wales border. So maybe within it we live. Maybe I live in Queanbeyan and you live in Canberra.
I live over the border.
Right? Over the border.
Great.
And hijinks ensues
Yeah.
across the state borders.
Slightly different laws.
Yeah.
Very slightly different bin nights.
But enough.
You come over to my place, you put stuff in the wrong bin because the bins are different.
Well, let's just put that in the script. It just says hilarity ensues. Blah, 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 blah. We'll just make it up.
I come over to Queanbeyan and I break into your neighbour's house and steal a valuable trading card.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because you're allowed to do that in Canberra.
Yeah, that's
you actually
fine.
legally are.
So I have no idea it's illegal. It's frowned upon in New South Wales.
As a hobbyist. Yeah.
Up to $10,000 is fine, but over $10,000.
You do put your foot down there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. Kirsty, how do people find you?
At Kirsty Webeck on all the socials. KirstyWebeck.com is my website. Yeah.
Look it up. You'll be around somewhere.
I'll be
You're
around.
always bloody around,
I'm
mate.
around.
Yeah. You're always getting bumped from something. But you'll be there with lots of time on your hands all of a sudden.
I'm involved. I'm bumped.
You're around. Yeah.
Full range.
And Will Anderson, people can find you, but they cannot interact with you.
Please do not find me. I have not made it clear. No, you can certainly come and see my stand-up show, which is still touring all over Australia. And then
buy your book.
You can buy my book, I Am Not Fine Thanks. You can listen to one of my various podcasts that are all available at tofop.com. And later in the year, the telly shows are both coming back. So Gruen and Question Everything. Kirsty was a big part of Question Everything in our season.
Hilarious on the show.
Very, very
Absolutely
funny.
hilarious.
You can still find
it.
all that on ABC iView. And you can also find last year's show, Logical, which is available on ABC iView.
It's really good. It's filmed really well. It's beautiful. It's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it came up really well.
Consume all Will Anderson content.
Well, you saw the whole show, and then that's just a 60-minute version.
Yeah.
There is famously one routine, which is about Joe Rogan, saying that he can suck his own dick.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, did not make the ABC 60-minute cut of that show. So,
whose decision was that? Did someone say that?
Oh no, it was mine. It was mine.
Yeah.
It was literally because they needed a 60-minute version of the show.
Yeah, right.
The whole show, if I took that out, basically I took that out, and actually what the book ended up being called, I Am Not Fine Thanks, that was the routine that started the show. So literally the first routine of the show got taken out because we were going to call the book that anyway. And I thought, let's not have both in both. And then the Joe Rogan thing, the rest of the story then just became about the same thing if we took that out. So it made it this really complete story.
So the Joe Rogan bit sucked itself off.
Well,
we're back after Ms. Higgins.
It's honestly one of my favourite bits I've ever done, Kirsty. And
it's so good.
It is taped. We have a copy of it, but I really want to... maybe I just
you should just release that bit.
Yeah, I could. Yes, maybe I'll refilm it and release it at some stage because it was my favourite bit of the show. I will say that.
My favourite bit of the show is not in the tape show.
The show's better without it, but it was my favourite bit of the show.
Right,
but that is the sacrifice that I'm willing to make.
You're
to make the show
an
better.
artist, a true artist.
Exactly. A true
top of his game. A true martyr, if you will.
Yes, I'm willing to make that sacrifice when I film it after I've never technically done the show that way. So the version you will see on ABC iView is a lie that never existed as a live show.
Oh
the
my
start
Another meta
and my
performance.
favourite routine, not in the show. So,
Kirsty Webeck, thank you so much for joining me and not getting bumped on the podcast this
Thank you,
time.
legend. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Will Anderson. For
thank
joining me.
you. My goblet has run out.
Good night, Australia.